This isn't just about taking a deep breath, it's about reclaiming your power, trusting yourself, and living a life that's truly yours. So let me ask you, what would your life look like if you stopped letting the opinions of others run your decisions? Let's dive in. In a world full of opinions, advice, and noise, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Everyone seems to have something to say about your life, what you should do, where you should go, how you should act. It's a constant barrage, and if we're not careful, it can drown out the one voice that truly matters, our own. But here's the truth, trying to meet everyone's expectations is a recipe for exhaustion. It's why so many of us feel stuck, anxious, and uncertain. What if I told you that the key to peace, clarity, and true success isn't in trying harder to meet their standards? Instead, it's about doing something we all know but rarely do, relaxing and silencing the noise around us. This isn't just about taking a deep breath, it's about reclaiming your power, trusting yourself, and living a life that's truly yours. So let me ask you, what would your life look like if you stopped letting the opinions of others run your decisions? Let's dive in. The first step to reclaiming your peace and power is to silence the noise. But let's be honest, it's not easy. We live in a world that thrives on distractions. Social media screams for your attention, friends and family voice their expectations, and society constantly tells you what you should be doing. It's no wonder we feel overwhelmed. But here's the truth, you can't hear your own thoughts when you're tuned into everyone else's channel. Think about it, how many of your decisions today were made because someone else's voice influenced you? Maybe it was a comment about your career choice. Maybe it was a post online that made you question if you're doing enough. The problem isn't that people have opinions. The problem is we let those opinions weigh more than our own. So what do? You take control of what you allow into your mind. Start by identifying the noise. Who or what is constantly feeding you doubt, fear, or pressure? It could be that friend who always critiques your dreams, or the endless scroll of social media that makes you feel inadequate. Once you identify the sources, create distance. Turn off the notifications. Politely step away from conversations that drain you. Remember, you're not obligated to consume every piece of advice or criticism thrown your way. But silencing the noise isn't just about avoidance, it's about creating intentional space for what matters. When was the last time you sat in silence? No music, no phone, no external input, just you and your thoughts. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but this is where the magic happens. This is where you start to hear the voice that's been buried under the chaos. When you silence the noise, you give yourself permission to think clearly, to dream boldly, to act decisively. You begin to recognize that the loudest voices are often the ones least aligned with your purpose. And as you do this, you'll realize something incredible. The quieter your world becomes, the stronger your inner voice grows. Once the noise is silenced, the next step is to rediscover your own voice, the one that has been muffled by years of external input. You see, deep down, you already know what you want. You've known all along. But somewhere between childhood and now, you stopped trusting yourself. Think about it, when you were a kid, you didn't second guess every decision. If you wanted to draw, you drew. If you wanted to sing, you sang. There was no committee of opinions to consult. But as you grew, society taught you to seek validation. Teachers graded your creativity. Peers judged your actions. And eventually you began to question if your voice was good enough. Here's the good news, your voice hasn't disappeared, it's just waiting for you to listen. To rediscover your voice, you must strip away the layers of doubt and expectation that have been piled on you. This requires honesty. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? Not what my parents want. Not what society expects, what do I want? Write it down. Speak it out loud. Make it real. But don't stop there. Start paying attention to the moments when your inner voice whispers to you. Maybe it's during a walk or when you're lost in a hobby you love. That's your authentic self speaking. And the more you listen, the clearer it becomes. Reconnecting with your voice also means challenging the beliefs you've adopted from others. If you've been told you're not capable or worthy, ask yourself, is that truly my belief, or did someone plant that seed? Uproot the lies. Replace them with truth. Your voice is your compass. It doesn't need to shout to be heard. It just needs you to listen. And when you do, you'll find that it holds the answers you've been searching for all along. The power to make decisions, to dream big, and to live boldly is already within you. You just have to trust it. Approval, it's something we all crave, whether we admit it or not. From the time we're children, we're conditioned to seek it. A pat on the back, a gold star, a nod of approval from a parent or teacher feels good, doesn't it? But here's the hard truth: living for approval is like chasing a moving target. It's exhausting, unfulfilling, and it keeps you trapped in a cycle of dependency. Why do we seek approval so desperately? Because we've equated it with our worth. Somewhere along the way, we learn to believe that being validated by others makes us valuable. But the reality is, approval is fleeting. You can please one person today, and they'll find fault tomorrow. You can meet their expectations now, only for them to raise the bar later. The key is understanding that approval is a nice to have, not a must have. It's like a compliment. It feels good in the moment, but it doesn't define who you are. Your worth isn't tied to someone else's opinion. Think about it. Whose approval are you chasing right now? Is it a boss, a partner, a parent? And more importantly, what is that chase costing you? The truth is, the need for approval often leads us to compromise our dreams, our values, and even our happiness. You might be saying yes when you really want to say no. You might be pursuing a career you don't love because it looks good on paper. You might be living someone else's version of success instead of your own. So how do you break free? By redefining whose approval matters. Start with your own. Approve of your efforts, even when they don't yield immediate results. Approve of your progress, even when it feels slow. Learn to be proud of yourself for showing up, for trying, for growing. When you let go of the need for constant external validation, something amazing happens. You find freedom. You stop bending to fit others' molds and start living authentically. You realize that the only person whose approval you truly need is staring back at you in the mirror. And when you reach that place, the opinions of others lose their grip on you. Boundaries are the lines that protect your peace, your energy, and your focus. Yet so many of us struggle to set them because we're afraid of how others will react. We worry that saying no will make us seem selfish, unkind, or ungrateful. But let me tell you this: boundaries are not walls to keep people out, they're bridges to healthier, more authentic relationships. Without boundaries, you become a puppet, constantly pulled in different directions by the strings of other people's expectations. You say yes when you mean no. You agree to things that drain you, all because you don't want to disappoint someone. But here's the thing: every time you ignore your own needs to satisfy someone else, you're saying no to yourself. Setting boundaries starts with clarity. What are your priorities? What matters most to you? If you don't define your boundaries, someone else will define them for you. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself doing something you didn't want to do simply because you didn't say no? Boundaries are an act of self-respect. They're not about pushing people away. They're about creating space for what truly aligns with your values and goals. When you say no to things that don't serve you, you're saying yes to what does. But let's be honest, setting boundaries isn't always easy. People who are used to you saying yes might resist. They might try to guilt you or question your choices. That's okay. Their reaction is not your responsibility. Your job is to stand firm, to protect your peace, and to prioritize your well-being. Here's a powerful truth: the people who genuinely care about you will respect your boundaries. They'll understand that you're not saying no to them, you're saying yes to yourself. And for those who don't respect your boundaries, let them go. Their presence in your life was conditional on you sacrificing your needs, and that's not a foundation for a healthy relationship. Boundaries are your shield against the chaos of external demands. They allow you to focus on what truly matters and give your best to the things that deserve your energy. So don't be afraid to draw the line. Protect your peace. Guard your dreams, and remember, setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary. One of the greatest sources of frustration and anxiety is trying to control things that are outside your reach. How often do we lose sleep over someone else's opinion? How often do we get paralyzed by outcomes we can't predict? It's a draining cycle, and it keeps us stuck in a state of powerlessness. The truth is, the world is full of things you can't control: other people's opinions, unexpected setbacks, the choices of those around you. But here's the game changer: you don't have to control those things. You only need to focus on what you can control: your actions, your attitude, and your effort. When you shift your focus to what's within your power, you reclaim your energy. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with everyone else's expectations and judgments. It's exhausting, right? Now, picture taking that backpack off and walking freely. That's what happens when you stop worrying about the uncontrollable and start owning your decisions. Focusing on what you can control also means letting go of what you can't. That's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's realizing that worrying about what others think won't change their thoughts. Dwelling on a failure won't undo it. Your power lies in what you choose to do next. And let me tell you this: when you take control of your own actions and mindset, you become unstoppable. No longer swayed by external forces, you create momentum in your life. People might still criticize you, but their words won't define you. Circumstances might still challenge you, but they won't break you. Remember, success isn't about controlling the world, it's about mastering yourself. When you focus on what you can control, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and channel your energy into building the life you want. In a world that glorifies hustle and busyness, relaxation often feels like a luxury we can't afford. But the truth is, relaxation isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Without it, you're running on empty, making decisions from a place of stress and exhaustion. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't build a meaningful life if you're constantly on edge. Relaxation isn't just about taking a break, it's about recalibrating your mind and body. It's giving yourself permission to pause, to breathe, and to step away from the noise. When you relax, you create space for clarity. You stop reacting to life and start responding with intention. One powerful way to practice relaxation is through mindfulness. Take a few minutes each day to sit in silence. Focus on your breath, the rise and fall of your chest. As you do this, notice how the tension in your body begins to ease. This isn't just a physical reset, it's a mental one too. It's in these moments of stillness that you can hear your inner voice more clearly. Reflection is equally important. When was the last time you truly reflected on your life, your goals, your actions, your direction? Reflection allows you to evaluate where you are and where you want to go. It's a chance to course correct, to celebrate progress, and to learn from mistakes. Here's a simple practice at the end of each day. Take 5 minutes to reflect. What went well? What could have gone better? What did you learn? These small moments of introspection can lead to big breakthroughs over time.